Welcome to today's video. I'm very excited about today's video because I'm going to be sharing with you a newer brand to me, Sydney Grace. You guys might have seen Sydney Grace talked about by other YouTubers here on YouTube. I just recently discovered them a few weeks ago in our Beauty Chit Chat Facebook group page. I will be honest, you guys, I don't really have a lot of time to watch YouTube videos lately these days. I feel like all the extra time that I have, I'm pouring into creating my own content and staying on that schedule. So the first time I heard about Sydney Grace was actually in that Beauty Chit Chat Facebook group page. A lot of members in there were like, Lisa, will you review Sydney Grace? You know, and everyone was buying the product and posting in the Facebook group page. They were sharing their looks, sharing their hauls in there. And I was like, I have got to get on this Sydney Grace bandwagon and try these products. They're very affordable. It's a smaller indie brand. I did communicate directly with them and reach out and ask if I could get a discount code for my viewers, which I do have. I'll leave it linked down below. It's not an affiliate code, meaning that I don't make a commission or anything. It's strictly just a 10% discount for you all. So I'll have that link down below. So for this look specifically, we're focusing on eyes, and then I did use some of their blush on my cheeks, but we're starting at the makeup with foundation and all that already on. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I do have my foundation, concealer, blush, bronzer, all that good stuff on. We are just gonna focus on eyes for this video. And I am gonna start by using their cream shadows. They sent me 5 of them. And at first glance, they kind of look similar in tone, but then I realized that's just the packaging. Because when you look on the back, there has this little bitty window where you can see the shade of the actual cream shadow. So I got the shade Cliff Jumping. I got the shade Campfire. I have the shade Candlelight. The shade Warm Wheath, is that right? W-E-A-T-H, Warm Wheath, okay. And Vibrant Madness. So they all look to be metallic in payoff. Let me kind of show you how these swatch on the skin. Shall we do that? Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, so this is the shade Cliff Jumping. It's a highly metallic silver kind of taupey shade, almost like a pewter shade. Very, very high shine, high intensity. These are so beautiful. It looks like liquid metal. It seriously looks like liquid metal. This one is Vibrant Madness, and it's similar to the first one, but it's got more bronze to it. In this particular shot, you guys, since it's so metallic, it reflects so much light. So what you're seeing, you're not quite seeing the true color of, let me see if I can turn this off and you guys can get a better, no, that's not gonna work. Well, kind of. Okay, so now I just have the 2 lights from the side, but I don't have a light shining directly, and I do feel like that kind of shows you the color a little bit better. You can see that the top one has a lot more silver, the bottom one is a bit more bronze. So I'm gonna keep this light off as I continue to swatch these, and we'll turn it back on when we do the makeup. Okay, the next one is Warm Wheath. I'm not sure if it's Warm Wheath or Warm Wreath, but there's no R, so okay, this is beautiful. If you like reds or cranberries, you are going to want this shade. Wow, that is so beautiful. Look at that. So gorgeous. Okay, the next one is Candlelight, and this looks to be more of like a rosy champagne shade. Yes, definitely more kind of that rosy light copper color. Very, very pretty. This is the one I might go with today. Very similar to the first 2 we swatched, but it has more of that pink tone to it. Ooh, this one is probably going to be a favorite. This is the shade Campfire. And it is the most beautiful, beautiful kind of mid-tone, warm, bronzy shade, but it almost has some like cool tones to it too. Like it's not really coppery or orangey bronze. It's just, oh, it's so pretty. This would be a great shade, I feel like an easy eye makeup. Like just put that all over your lid and you're done. You don't really have to pair anything with it, and it's a complete look. That's gonna be a favorite for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the shade Candlelight, and I'm gonna apply this on my lids. And I think I'm just gonna use my finger to apply this. Let's see how that works. I usually like to use my finger when I apply cream or liquid shadow products, just because I feel like my finger does a really great job of shearing it out. Okay, this is really intense, you guys. It's absolutely beautiful. I will say that I think I grabbed too much because I want it to be really concentrated on the lid, but I want it to really sheer out as I get into the crease. I don't want it to be that intense in the crease, so I probably should have used a little less than I did. But what I'm just gonna do is kind of wipe my finger off and then go back to blend it and sheer it out. These do seem to dry kind of quickly, so you kind of gotta work with them quickly, I feel like. Yeah, they do dry pretty quickly. I can tell that it feels like a product that once it dries, it's not gonna probably budge or move. I bet it's very long wearing. But you do have to work with it quickly. So don't put it on your eye and then like fumble and do something else. Like really work with it and shear it out before it dries. Because I don't think once it sets and dries, you're gonna have a whole lot of time. Okay, I feel like I need to add a tiny bit more on this eye to even it out. Now the reason I don't wanna bring it above my crease is because it is so metallic, and I don't like to have so much metallic or shimmer here underneath the brow. I like a little bit of a sheen, but I don't like it to be too foiled looking, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna keep this just on my lid. What I like about these is that they have enough color and they're opaque enough to where they really could just be worn as shadows alone. They don't necessarily have to have a shadow applied on top of it. I mean, I think that these are really easy products to wear alone, so I do like that. Now, I haven't even had a chance to put these in my palette yet, so I'm literally just taking them out of the package. They come in this little cardboard sleeve, just like other, you know, pan shadows do. And this is the shade Iced Mocha. This is what it looks like. Let me show you what it looks like on my finger and then on my hand. So this is what it looks like. It's just kind of a nice, warm, it has a slight bit of pink to it, matte, neutral shade. I feel like it was the perfect shade for transition for the shades we're gonna be working with because it does have some pink to it. Let me show you what it swatches like. This is what it looks like. It'll work well on fair skin or skin kind of as deep as mine. I think that if you are a lot darker than me, you probably want to look for an equivalent to it, but a little bit deeper because it might be too light for what we're using it for. Okay, and I just have a couple of brushes that I grabbed. This is by Makeup of the Day. It's the Build and Blend brush. This is what it looks like. This is actually kind of my first time to try these brushes. It looks like a big fluffy crease brush, and I'm just gonna kind of pop this in my crease, back and forth. This brush has synthetic hairs and they're real soft. And I'm gonna kind of take that into my brow a little bit because the color I feel like is light enough to where I can do that and kind of give that like sultry kind of fade into the crease. Also, if you kind of pull this here, if you tend to have a wider nose or bridge of nose here, if you take your transition color and kind of pull it over here to the side of the nose, it'll kind of contour the nose a little bit there and make it appear a little bit more refined. Okay, so that just gives me a nice bit of wash in the crease. You can see that it creates some definition and it contrasts with that real metallic light color on the lid. Next, I'm gonna go in and I'm going to add a bit of a deeper color, actually a lot darker color, in the outer corner. It's this shade right here. Let me open it and tell you the name of it. It is, oh, this is so pretty. It's called Eastern Rise, and it is like the most beautiful matte kind of eggplant color. So pretty. I love plums like this. I really like purples on my eyes because they do complement my eyes and bring out the green. But I like more kind of deeper purples or purples that are a bit more neutral. Look at how pretty that is. Oh, that is so gorgeous. It kind of reminds me of a mix between two favorite MAC shadows of mine that were in this tone, a mix of Sketch and Shadowy Lady. I'm not sure if they still carry those shades, but those two were shades that I would wear all the time. And this is like a blend between them. I love this color. This would also work really well as an eyeliner. Now, because it's so dark, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna create this in the outer corner, but I don't wanna use the brush that I just used because it's too big and I would likely make a big, huge mess. So I'm gonna go in with the E25 brush by Sigma. It is, as you can see, it is more, it's thinner, so you have more control over where you apply shadow. This was the brush that I just used. You can tell the difference in the two, right? This is a lot thinner. It's gonna give me more control, simply put. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of this dark shade on the tip of the brush, and I am just gonna kind of lightly work that into the outer corner. I'm almost creating like a little V, right? I'm starting right here in the outer corner. I'm not really moving my brush too much across my lid. I'm really just keeping it in one spot and then kind of moving it in little tiny circles in that one spot, if that makes sense. And I'm gonna pull it down to meet my lower lash line right here. And then I'm gonna stop. I don't wanna go further than the middle of my crease just because it's such a dark color. I don't want to do that and kind of bring my eye down. Then I'm gonna take that crease brush that I used initially and I'm just gonna go over it to soften out any edges. Pretty. Do you see how that just creates some more definition? And it works really, really well with that, that first transition shade that we worked with. I'll do the other eye and I'll be right back. You guys know the brand Mally Beauty. So this is totally unrelated. I don't know why I thought of this. I'm not using any of her products in this tutorial, but I listened to a podcast of hers. Well, actually it wasn't her podcast. She was being interviewed on a podcast that I listened to, and I fell in love with her. She's a makeup artist who created her own makeup line. And one of the things that really stuck out to me that I loved is she was talking about how she was a celebrity makeup artist for a long time. And she talks about how she was never the best makeup artist. You know, she wasn't the best. There were so many makeup artists that were better than her, but her quality, or she feels like what really helped her in her career, is her ability to connect with her clients and, you know, build relationships with them and like truly care about them, and form friendships. And she said, like, you know, I think that's why I continue to be hired, because people really liked me, because I really built relationships when I would do someone's makeup. And I love that, because I could kind of relate to that a lot, because I certainly don't feel like an exceptional makeup artist. I feel like I'm good at makeup, and I have the ability to do makeup on people and make them feel beautiful. But, you know, I look at these artists that are like true amazing artists, and I see their work and I'm like, wow, like I'm so not at that level. But what I really feel like what I love to do is teach women makeup in an easy, attainable way, right? Like I feel like the looks that I do are easy. You know, I feel like anyone can do them. And I think that's what I get the most joy and reward out of is teaching you guys, you know, how to look put together, how to have your makeup look nice, but something that you can actually achieve, you know, not something that you can admire on Instagram or on YouTube, and then you try to do it yourself and it's like, you know. Okay, so next I'm gonna go apply some color on my lid, and I'm really excited about this part in the process because this color is stunning. It is so beautiful. Let me pull it out so I can show you. It is the shade, okay, it is the shade Always Yours, and it is stunning. Do you see how beautiful that is? Oh my gosh, okay, let's see what this looks like. Okay, it too just looks like, I mean, when it's on the skin, it looks like liquid metal, like seriously. So it's, okay, it goes on a lot more pink than I thought. I thought it would have more of a purple tone, but again, it's that metallic reflection from the light that makes it look very pink. Now I'm not gonna use my finger. I'm gonna use a brush to apply this. And I'm gonna just go in actually with this E25 brush by Sigma. Even though it says it's a blending brush, it has a really flat side. So I'm gonna go in and pick up the shadow with that flat side, and I'm gonna pack it on the lid. We'll see how this works. Oh, that's so pretty. Look at that, so beautiful. This is going to make green eyes just pop. I'm telling you, if you have any green in your eyes and you like to pull that out of your eyes, put a color like this on your lid. And if you're not comfortable putting a color like this, use it as an eyeliner or put a little bit on the center of your lid. You don't have to paint it all over the lid like I did. Just put a little in the center, and that alone is going to just make your green eyes pop. So the quality of these shadows is really nice. They go on really well. They're well pigmented. They're easy to work with. Yeah, that goes on really well without a whole lot of effort. Like I don't have to continue to keep building or anything. It goes on. And I'm using a brush. Typically your finger works really good with like really intense shimmer shadows like this, but the brush worked well. Okay, then I'm gonna go and just kind of deepen the crease a little bit and add, just kind of blend it all together, kind of fine tune it, as I like to say. I like to kind of get the bones down of my eyeshadow look and then go back and fine tune everything. This color in the crease is so pretty. Iced Mocha. Okay, so Iced Mocha is one I think that is a really good basic neutral that you could wear every single day. Oh, it's so pretty. So I'm going over it with that Iced Mocha, just going over on top of the crease just to give that real faded airbrush effect. All right, for my brow highlight, I have to dip into another palette because I didn't really get a great brow highlight shadow from them. I'm using just the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. It's this color base. What I love about her palettes is they always have a really great brow highlight color and a really great transition color. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop that underneath there. Next, I'm gonna just kind of dust out any fallout that might be on my, underneath my eyes. I don't see any, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. And I'm gonna go in with this Bake and Blot Translucent Powder by Revolution Beauty. Okay, so this is the first time I've ever tried this product, so let's hope that it doesn't mess up my makeup. I'm just gonna apply this. Oh, this is nice. Very, very light and translucent. Ooh, this is really nice. It gives a really subtle brightening effect and it doesn't look heavy. And I want to say it almost kind of smoothed out a little bit of texture I had right here. This is nice. I like this. For liner, I'm going to go in with my Tattoo Liner by Kat Von D. It's just a black one, and I'm just going to line my eyes and create that little bit of a baby wing that I always do. That is going to lift the eye rather than pull it down. I've talked about it in a lot of videos, but if you guys want to see a dedicated, maybe it be my 5-minute Friday video for next week or the week after, if you want to see me like really break down how I do this in a quick, easy video, let me know and I will do that. I know sometimes when I talk about things in videos, it's nice to have a separate video for it in case you ever want to reference it later, you know, in case you're doing your makeup and you're like, oh, I need to listen to that tip again, but you can't remember what video I talked about it in or where it was. So if you think that'll be helpful, let me know. Next, I'm gonna pop some lashes and I'll be right back. Wow, lashes make such a difference, don't they? Okay, so next I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna complete my eyes by doing my lower lash line. I'm gonna line my eyes with the Clinique Pencil in Intense Aubergine. It is such a beautiful, like dark plum color. And I'm not applying a ton of pressure because this liner is really dark. I don't want it to be too stark, like I don't want it to be too harsh. I want to have a nice kind of soft line that I can manipulate with a shadow. And I'm going to stop about midway through. I'm not going to take this all the way to the inner corner because that would make my eyes look a little bit smaller. Okay, so I'm just going to do it like that. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to take the Sigma brush. This is the short shader. It's E20. You can tell it's a little tiny guy. And I'm going to go in with the shade that we used in the crease, that first light iced mocha shade. And we're going to load this brush up and we are just going to smoke out this lower liner. We're just going to go directly on top of that pencil. This is going to smudge it a bit so it creates more of like that smoky look. And then because this shadow is softer and lighter, it's also going to soften out any edges. I was tempted to use the darker one too, but I don't think I need it. I think that might create too much of a heavy lower lash line and I don't need it because there is so much drama happening on the eyes. I am in love with this eye look. It is so beautiful. These lashes are a little bit too long, but you know what? We're gonna work with them because I'm not gonna remove them and apply new ones. Okay, then I'm just gonna kind of dust out any fallout I might have had and apply some mascara. I am using this Clinique High Impact Mascara. This was the sample I got and I really like it. It's a really nice mascara. It does a really great job of lengthening and separating. I have to say, I think I'm at the end of my lash extension recovery. You know, I removed my lash extensions last year. It was probably, I can't remember what month it was, but I feel like they've been off for about 5 months now, maybe five months or so. And I feel like my lashes have fully recovered. I have been so good about using a lash serum. Currently I'm using Grande Lash, but I've used a few others. I've been so good about doing that every single night. And I think my lashes are in a really, really good place. Okay, do you see how what this mascara creates? I mean, look at those lower lashes. Those are so long. I don't really have much lower lashes, so for me to achieve this, that's really good. Next, I'm gonna pop on a little bit of blush. I do have some blush on now, but I want to go with a little bit of a lighter pink to kind of brighten the cheeks up. This is by Sydney Grace, and it is called Always and Forever, and it looks like a really pretty, like light baby pink. This is what it swatches like on the skin. Very pretty and light. This would work really well for fair skin. And I'm going to take the MAC 137 brush. This is one of my favorite brushes for blush because it's so light. And I'm just going to pop this. Oh, this is so pretty. I was worried that this color wouldn't really show up, but it is so beautiful. It almost reminds me of an old, I know I keep referencing MAC blushes, but this kind of reminds me of Angel from MAC or Well Dressed. Do you guys remember those blushes? Do they still have those? I feel bad. I don't really shop MAC anymore. That used to be for years all I would buy, and I don't really buy it anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna pop that on my cheeks. That's so pretty. I feel like that just really ties the whole look together. It really kind of pulls in that pink from the lid. Okay, since we have so much going on in the eyes, I'm gonna keep lips very minimal. I have a little bit of a gloss on already, and so on top of this, I'm just gonna add a little bit of this lipstick. It's called Sugarcane by Bite Beauty, and it's one of my favorite lipsticks. This formula is so nice. It's so pigmented, really, really rich. It's like a creamy matte almost. It's not like a dry matte, but it's not as creamy as a cream lipstick. It's kind of in between the two. It stays on the lips really well. I'm just gonna kind of dot this on the lower lip, and then press the lower and upper lips together. My lips have been so dry from this weather. It's been cold in Austin, hot and cold, hot and cold. So I'm just gonna press the lips together and I think I'm gonna leave it there. I was thinking about adding more gloss, but I don't think it's needed because I had that gloss as a base I have a nice kind of hydrated lip look. This is pretty, I like this. All right, that's the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I really, really like the way that this came out. I know this is not what I typically do in tutorials. I feel like I normally always stick to my neutral shades, but I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone and create some more fun, colorful looks for you guys. So I do wanna thank Sydney Grace for sending me this product. This is not a sponsored video, but they were really generous to send me such a great care package. And I have to say, so far from what I've tried, I really like it. I'm excited to try all the other shades that I have. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!